Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about how we turn our rainwater that we get off of our roof into fresh drinking water. Right, so we've got an IBC tank under this tarp and our borehole pump goes in this tank. It's piped, it goes through here down under the van to our housing where we filter our rainwater. We've got 3 big IBC tanks up there, and they're covered in black plastic to stop them going green. Put this one lower down because we want this one to always be full. We don't want them to all be 3/4 full. We want this one to be full up to utilise all the water. But we have a tap so we can turn it on and off and fill this one up to keep this one full. This is lagged up under here. We've got lagging up under there, and it's never frozen. The pipes, however, even though they're covered in foam, they have frozen before that are up there. So it's always best to fill this up in the evening before it freezes overnight. Otherwise, the next day you can't fill it up. So you almost have to wait for it to defrost. But using about 3/4 of this tank, nearly, or just over half this tank, we can get about a week out of it. But that's because it's using toilets and everything like that. So take that off, the pump's in there, you can actually hear it whirring away at the moment. So, but this foam, you can see mice love this foam, which is a bit of a pain. So we're collecting rainwater off of there, off of these tanks up high like this. And then we've got IBC tank there, and like a pipe coming off of it. And that's just, it's over here because it was in the way. I wanted to use the barn, things under the barn. So that's collecting rainwater, and we pump it pretty quick from there into the other one when that fills up. There's a lot of moving around of water. So we're in our water filtration sort of log store, and our pipework comes in along this pipe here from outside, from the IBC tanks, and so from our water borehole pump, and this is 32mm proper water pipe, MPDE I think it's called, pipe, and then it's gone into compression fittings, and it's so easy to do with all these compression fittings. There's no messing around with glues that might be toxic or anything like that, and then we've got an on-off lever here, so when we're doing any work on the system, clean filters, you can switch this off after you've switched the little computer thing off, the pump off, and turn this pressure tank off. You can do work on it, because even when you turn the pump off, gravity can still trickle water through, which can be quite annoying, so it's really good to have that there as well. So it comes along, and we've got a pressure tank, so you don't have to wait on your water coming out the tap. It's there instantly, just like that. So some of these 12-volt pumps, you might have to wait a little while for the water to start coming out, but it's ready to go with plenty of pressure on. That's a tiny tank, but you don't ever run out. The pump kicks in before the pressure really drops on this. The only thing you're going to lose pressure on with it is if your filters get blocked up, and then you'll notice the water is just slowed because it just can't get through those filters quick enough. So we've got a pressure tank, and then this is our little sensor here that tells us when the pressure drops. So when you open your tap, that sensor knows the pressure's dropped, and tells the little computer thing up there to tell the pump to push a bit harder. So all this stuff came from a place called Pipe Stock in the UK, and their website shows all this. This is how it's so easy to do, and buy all these bits, and they're not very expensive either. So I started lagging some of this up, but the mice like this. Might be worth seeing if you can get something else that isn't just foam to lag pipes up with. I need to look into it, because every time I try and do anything, they're gnawing through it. So this is our little computer thing for our pump, and we can pump water all around this 4.5 acres of land with this, because we can choose the pressure, and with that sort of size pipe we can actually do that and not lose any pressure. So you've got on and off switches, you've got a little man there. If something goes wrong with it, he might flash up to say there's a problem. We've never had a problem. And it's really easy to install. It gives you this almost like cartoon-like booklet. It's like a comic of how to do it. It's that easy. So if you've got land and you want to pump water around it, 12-volt pumps, you know, probably just forget it. Get something like that, something decent, and it's easy to do for off-gridding. Yeah, I didn't have any problems with it. I can't remember it being frustrating, so it was probably quite straightforward. That's basically what the borehole pump looks like, that thing there, and that's what it is, Grundfos. So we've got just an ordinary tap here. The tap's on. We've got washing machine coming off of it, and then a pipe for plants and things. Then we go into our filter. We've got a first filter, and in the start I was getting filters that were like 50 micron, things like that, for sediment, and we don't really get a lot of big sediment. We get very, very fine particles off the roof, only very fine stuff. So this is a 20-inch housing. I think it's 2.5 inches wide. We've got a filter here. So I just use 1 micron stuff because all our stuff is so fine off the roof, and basically our ceramic filter always blocks up first, and I want to limit how many times I've got to clean it. We use these finer filters. Actually, they're called finer filters. The company I've been getting them was called finer filters, and they've been a lot cheaper than other places at the moment. We were getting them from Wrecking Filters, and their prices went up, and we've switched supplier, and it's exactly the same thing with a different label by the looks of things. So that goes in there, and that's 1 micron, and then we've got another 1 micron filter in here, and then we've got ceramic filter. This is the one that needs cleaning mostly, and then we've got a carbon filter at the end. Some people have said about using your ceramic filter right at the end, but because it's going through all these plastic things, I tried to put the carbon one right at the end, and I've actually switched them over before. I've had the ceramic one right at the end. It makes no difference to how much pressure you're pushing through, whether it's, you know, running slow or anything like that. Maybe that's for people with 12-volt pumps or something. It doesn't seem to make any odds, but the choking point is always that ceramic filter. Always that ceramic filter is the one where, you know, when you clean that, it works better. And then if that doesn't work, if things are slowing down, it's these other ones. It's never your carbon block that's doing it. I just want that to remove pesticides and things like that. Anything that's landed on the roof from spraying, I want it to be clean, just to remove the pesticides, any of the plastics. Because when you see some of these filters that come out here, the plastic that's around them, you know, I know the pipe's all plastic, but it's meant to be drinking water. You just don't know what some of these things have in them. I mean, this is all plastic, so we don't have a UV filter on this. We've looked at, you know, whether we should or shouldn't. So our ceramic filter is a really good substitute for the UV filter, and we've had no problems, you know, many years now. We've been drinking this water and we don't get sick or anything like that. To clean our filters or change a filter, you have to run through a thing of turning everything off, really, so that you haven't got pressure in the system. So basically, just switch that off. That's the pump turned off now. We turn this lever, and that's from the IBC tank, so that will stop the gravity running the water through and trickling out. And then on the pressure tank, we've got a little lever behind here, little tap behind the pressure tank. We'll switch that off. That turns the pressure off. So you can release the pressure by just pressing all these, but you can lose quite a bit of water through doing all that, and it's trickling everywhere. So I just use the hose now to do it, and I'll just run it into a... So this is just taking some of that pressure off, like that. And then you can still push these, get any more pressure out of them, like that. And then you can just turn this off. Put something under there because you're going to get wet. And that's the ceramic candles. We change them about once a year. But we find if we're home all the time, like Rachel being pregnant, say, and you're washing up things more and you're using more water, because this system is running our whole house, we're filtering water even for our toilets, the way it goes into our caravan, into our mobile home, it was just easier to do that than try and mess around with pipes under there. Obviously you build a house, you get to do it all again and put all the pipe work around properly, and you know, I'd have 2 runs of pipes probably running around, one that's for water that you can use on your toilets and for washing machine and things like that, and then a filtered water, or just have these under the sink. But I'm not decided yet on, it all depends on how I feel about this UV light, and at the moment I don't really feel we need it. That's a carbon filter. They don't seem to be very expensive. Finding a filters place is pretty good, and also at Pipe Stock, because it's so easy to find things on there, and anyone can do this, you know, just screwing bits of pipe together like that. Obviously finding the right threads is a bit of a pain. That was a bit of time trying to find the right things to fit that. You know, if you find out what size that is on there, say for that sensor, you know, you can talk to these people on the phone and they'll send you the right stuff out. Say you want the MPDE compression fittings, you'll sit on their site for water, and say that you want it to fit, you know, whatever size that is. It'll tell you in your manual, and they'll find it for you. Same with the taps and things like that. This join here, this thing here, this isn't actually good for indoors, for in a house, because you can turn that off. This is more sort of an agricultural thing, this fitting, but I couldn't find anything. This part isn't. This is for, you know, this is be fine. But trying to find something to screw on there, and in the end I ended up putting this almost agricultural fitting on there. And the trouble with that is, if you walk by it, you can knock it off, and then things will leak. But it's fine for running pipe work across the land. So if you've seen our borehole video, you'll know that it didn't really work out. So we'll be doing our a shallow well over the spring, sort of summertime, in the hope to get some more water. The roofs, we just haven't got enough roofs really, especially with a polytunnel, you know, watering things like that and growing vegetables and things. So it would be good to utilise that, and we're going to put a bigger tank in as well. We want one big tank for our borehole pump to go in, rather than have these IBC tanks everywhere. And we might add to that later on. Might start off with a sort of 5, 6 or 6,000 litre one, and then add on, but see how we go, because if we've got a ball cock in the tank and a pump in the well that's continually topping it up, we might just be okay. We'll see what we can get away with, really. We're talking about adapting an already existing pond. I put this pond in about 15 years ago, and it did used to keep its water, and then I tried to make it larger and then it lost its water, and so now I'm just thinking dig it out and turn it into a well, so I can get right down there with the digger. I haven't got to have any sort of drilling equipment to do it, and put some plastic pipe or some concrete sections in and gravel round it, and put a pump down in there, and just draw on demand. So when the tank drops, the ball cock comes down, tells it to fill up. The ball cock comes up, tells the pump to stop. So yeah, we're looking at doing that, and hopefully it will sort out our water situation. So we've got our electricity sorted, we've got to get our water sorted and our food sorted, and then we'll be really switching into homesteading, really, won't we? So if you guys are doing anything like this and you need any help, let us know. Say if it's sort of wiring in a pump like that, you know, if it's like the one we've got, I could take the lid off it and show you how it's wired in, you know, because some of that stuff I do remember having to look up how to do that. I just didn't know. So you know, if it helps you out, or any of these filters or any questions like that, you know, we've been doing this for so many years now that we've learnt all the things not to do. So yeah, if you enjoy these videos, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.